to Go for Lethal. My name is Zed Tabani.
I'm Dean Kazanov.
I'm Zach Chamberlain.
And I'm Chris Okamura.
And it has been so long. We've all missed you because the holidays have been a thing. And whenever the holidays come up, everybody's schedule just craters, right? But we've just finished up Christmas. We're going into New Year's, right? It's been a crazy year for the OPTCG. Very quickly, we want to thank everybody here for watching for as long as you have and following this podcast. But I want to open it up to the floor. How is everybody doing? How are we doing at the end of 2025? A great year in the OPTCG or a horrible year or whatever the fuck you want to call it. How's everybody doing?
I've had the worst luck this week, but otherwise it's been fine.
Thank you for that. Great. Okay. What a great year. 2025. Dude, I've had the worst luck this week.
Dude, we had to change a spare tire last night. There was some crazy shit going on.
Why'd you have to change a spare tire last night?
Okay. Question of doom and despair because the tire popped. What else would you have to change the spare tire
Whose
for?
tire popped?
Jenny's. So my wife's. So
your wife's tire popped.
So the funny thing was like, God, this gets into so much other shit. So there's a gas leak in my house.
What the fuck?
So we've had to repair this gas leak. The gas company came, turned it off, whatever. So we didn't have hot water. So we had to basically, Jenny's parents luckily live down the street from the local that we play at normally. And so I was there last night and I was getting ready to leave. And then my wife was like, no, just stay there. I'll come pick you up because we have to go to my parents' house to go shower anyway. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I was literally getting ready to go and then packing up, and then she called, and then I was like, okay, Dean, we can keep playing. So me and Dean kept playing for a while, and then Jenny called back and I put her on speakerphone.
Somebody take their phone off speaker so quick.
Yeah, because I hit the thing before I can say hi. She goes, I'm panicking right now, and I turned off the speaker, and I was like, what's going on? And she was like, I hit a pothole, and something happened to the tire and whatever. And so I was like, where are you? And she was like a block away from the shop. So I was just gonna run down there, and Dean was like, I want to go. And so we went into Dean's car, and we went over there. And me and Dean, well, first Jenny gets out of the car and she goes, I don't know what's wrong. I hit a pothole where the car feels bad. And so I was like, you look at the car at all? She goes, no. And then me and Dean
which tire it is? I wonder which tire. The first tire we look at is like on the car ground,
feels bad.
Like, yeah, it's like on the floor. Me and Dean both go, oh, there's this one.
Yeah, I think it might be this one, dude. Yeah.
So then she panics and she's like, I want to talk to AAA. I call my dad. My dad works on cars, like blah, blah, blah. I was like, me and Dean can put this spare tire on. Like, we can do this, right? Like, and the thing is, I love my wife to death. Dean can back me up here. She had no faith that we could put this tire on.
No faith.
I'm gonna be honest with both of you. I had no faith before the story started that you put this tire on.
So the funniest part of the story was, you have to, because the bolts, the lug bolts are like on their
I've never seen lug bolts on that tight. It was like insane. So
they have the wrench to like get the bolts off, right? So we're like, dude, I'm pulling all my strength. Dean's pulling with all his strength. Like, we cannot get these bolts off. And so I'm like, Dean, what do we have to do? So he Googles it. He goes, it says to use the jack to like jack up and push it. And I was like, that seems like bullshit. So I was like,
y'all using Google AI to figure out how to fucking replace this tire.
So then I
That's
see
a good idea though.
I see a YouTube video where a guy, you put it in there, you lock it in, and then you stand on it. You like bounce on it to like get it to go. So like mine, so I start bouncing on it and it finally goes. And I was like, oh, it went. And then I put another one in, and Dean goes, let me try. And Dean puts like one foot on it, and that shit fucking goes.
Wait, so you were bouncing on it, Chris, until it went?
I was like, yeah, dude, I bounced on it. So then, dude, Dean can back me up. Those things were on fucking so tight, bro.
Oh my God. Dude, I've changed plenty of tires in my life. They've never been on that tight to where like I put all my force into it, and it should not require the big ass man that I am hopping on it for it to move.
And you guys didn't get a video of this?
It's like a Sonic the Hedgehog puzzle. You gotta fucking
like, it was crazy when Chris did one. And we're like, okay, it's starting to move, right? And then there was one that even with Chris jumping on it, it wouldn't move. So we're like, okay, time to call the big boy in. And then as soon as I caught on it, oh my God, Whoever put those tires on needs to chill.
So then, no, we got back. So then we got the tire on. Everything was fine. And then Jenny's dad showed up because Jenny's dad came, he works on cars. And then so dude, the proudest moment, he was like, he like hit the tire. He looked, he checked the bolts, and he's like, all right, looks good. And I was like, yeah, let's go. We got it.
Yeah. We got the Chinese dad seal of approval. That shit was so fire. I looked at Chris. I was like, fuck yeah.
We got it.
That's a real.
You guys must have been so proud.
I came to this country with $1 and a dream approval.
Yeah, 100%.
It was actually so fire because no hate to Jenny's dad, but you could tell when he showed up, he just came to dig. So he came to dig. We still did a good job.
Fucking millennials. Oh, they did a good job. Good shit.
That's 100%. He came expecting to see like a shit show of like us trying to put this tire on. And no, we got it done. And then we ended up getting in and out and hanging out in Jenny's parents' place for a bit and playing. We played like 3 hours of Boamir. It was great.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's fucking crazy.
Speaking of Boamir, oh my god, that build is awful. I need to change that today if we're gonna play on web.
Dean was like,
okay.
We got to locals, and Dean was like, let me try this new Boa build, and we played it for 3 hours, and he was like, fuck this build.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
All right, well, we'll get into Boa builds and Mihawk supremacy and
oh my god, another
Gecko.
one.
No.
Okay, sure.
So
You put Pizarro on Chris's fucking poll, Zach. I don't want to hear anything from you forever. All right, we're back. We've had a crazy year in the OPTCG. We've had a lot of different sets. If you haven't already, you should go check out Chris's poll that he put up for everybody. His year-end poll of best card, best leader of 2025, and all of that. But very quickly, as we're looking into the new meta that we're going to have, a meta that's unique from Japan, right, with OP14/EBO4, right? We're going to get into all of that, but very quickly, before we move on to that, let's take one last look at OP13 because we've been kind of destroying our current local by playing Emu and Ace the whole time. But very quickly, I want to just check everybody at the tail end of OP13 and at the tail end of this year with One Piece CCG. How do you feel the game is right now? And we can talk about card market in a little bit, but just currently in the meta with how OP13 turned out right before we're about to pretty quickly shift into OP14. How do we feel this meta evolved? How was it in the West compared to the East? What are we thinking?
I mean, the exact same. Yeah, it's been the same from the East to the West. It's just Emu Ace.
And it's wonderful. It's perfect. Perfectly balanced.
I think it's great for like I was talking to Alec about this yesterday. I think it's great from a competitive standpoint, like I've been saying for the past few months, right? Like going to a regional or something, like just being able to prepare for 3 decks at most, perfect. But I'm at the point where going to locals, it kind of sucks for me to like walk in and see all these people who want to, or just primarily playing for fun and want to have fun playing their favorite deck or a new deck. It doesn't have to be their favorite deck, and they just can't because it's just not good enough.
It's prohibitive. It's so triangle that it's prohibitive. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I see anything that's not Emu or Ace, I just know I'm gonna stomp it and be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, red green Luffy can catch you off guard.
Oh, dude, that
deck
red
can be
green
scary.
Luffy
Red green Luffy and red black Sabo. First off, I didn't know about this, but you guys told me when you guys got back from regionals that all of you got cooked by red black Sabos.
Dude, red black Sabo.
Except me.
Red Black Sabo cooked all of us. That shit was crazy.
What
cooked you, Zach?
I lost to a Rayleigh in overtime because we didn't hear them call time, and that was my only loss that day.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, Zach was in side event though. That was
Zach was in side event. I wish I got in the
race just now.
What?
Zed, do that again. Okay.
What?
Dude, I swear that sounded like Zach so much. Dude, that was like your best Zach.
You know what's kind of funny? We're actually the same person. We're just moving really, really fast, like in between these two shots.
Can we?
That's me and Chris.
Can we dig this? Dude, Zach and I get mixed up for each other at least once a week.
Oh, so much. Why Zach?
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Okay.
Yes, Zed does it as well, but this is a universal thing.
I did it originally, right? Just because like the way you guys like hang out around the group is very like you'll just like come in like, oh, I just want to add a little bit of info, and then I'm gonna pull back out. That's why, right? You're not like staying in the group talking shit, right? You're there to like do a little punch and then go back, right? So that's why I think people confuse you.
I'm gonna jab you in the
at
neck
least they're not
and then
confusing you
fucking
for
run
somebody for a worse person at our local who I won't name.
Very true. If there's anyone I'd have to get confused for, I accept Chris entirely.
Yeah,
But it's just for the
100%,
level.
Confusion
Even one of the
option.
kids the other day turned to Chris and said Zack.
Yeah, it was very odd.
That's kind of nuts. Because you guys don't look alike at all.
No.
No.
I
Yeah,
don't
they
get
just
it.
learned it from the best. They watched that do it so much. They're like, oh yeah.
First off, I strive to teach the youth different sorts of bad habits at all times, right? So one of them is confusing other people for other people. But okay, so very quickly, so we all kind of feel like OP13 has been a little bit more prohibitive. But but one thing that I didn't want to talk about was those two decks, like Red Green Luffy and Red Black Sabo. Red Black Sabo, at least at the end of OP13, has seemed to have, you know, a little bit more strength behind it ever since that promo came out, you know.
Mhm.
The mixed
I mean, like
Which
a little bit
promo?
more so than blue purple Luffy or red purple Roger has had with its promo that everybody was waiting for.
I think the thing with the mixed Sabo is like it helps like fix your curve with Sabo.
Yeah,
Because
Which card's the promo? What card did they get?
The 4-drop
it's a black four drop blocker.
I mean, that's
that
what
helps you take a life.
honestly. Like,
Yeah,
the
that's
thing
the
is,
card that
everything
cooks
else in that
Dean.
matchup you're prepared to deal with. Like, I was holding the event for their 6. Oh, I'm just talking because before we started recording, I was talking about how I lost to Red Black.
Yeah,
Sabo
Dean
yesterday.
Cook. I played a Red Black Sabo first round, right, and won pretty handily near the end. And then Dean cooked me, and then the Red Black Sabo that I cooked Dean.
Oh my god!
In an interesting
Biggest game of my
triangle.
life. Like, he just
So
went.
talk about it. So what happened?
Yeah.
He's curved
Yeah,
out.
I mean that McSabo is just so good on curve for them because it's unremovable for me. It put them down to the 3-life threshold to make it into a 7K, and then it gives them an extra card in hand. So like you can't, because some people starve Red Black Sabo, right, and then they can't get down to it. So it lets you take your own life. It's an 8 cost. Like there's just so many things.
Wait,
going
why is
on.
it not removable for you?
Yeah.
Well, no, I can Mars it. So I didn't see Mars, but I can't.
Oh.
Did you not
what's it
see
called?
Nosturo either?
Yeah, I can just drew it, but it goes down to 5K.
yeah, because it's already
Yeah.
powered up.
And then you
It's
swing a
powered
bunch into it and you take out you starve them until the end and then you just do that and you take out their hand.
Because it lets him take his own life.
Yeah.
So he played them back to back.
Yeah,
And unstarved himself.
that's
Yeah,
it. That's
it
it.
fixes
That
the
he,
Interesting.
problem. That's what I'm saying.
he did the same thing to me. I hit. I know the same player. I hit him like he pulled himself down to 3 with that, and I was like, that's kind of crazy,
Yeah.
right? And you know, like he just, I don't know, like the hand advantage it gets. Sabo's effect, Red Black Sabo's effect is so strong, like in a way that you don't expect coming, right? Because like I think especially if they see the 6-drop Sabo, it's really hard. It's like I was very like if he would have drawn a dragon against me, there was one turn where like I was like, if he draws any dragon in his deck, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can find it.
Well, it's happened
No.
to Dean. I was watching Dean play. It like he curved out crazy. He played the mixed Sabo on 4. He played the Sabo and then dragon into Roger.
I was like, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm dead. And the thing is,
that's
I
rough.
have the event on my 7, right? But at that point, it doesn't really matter. The one that pops the 6 cost, a basic.
Yeah.
You're
shot.
still playing that?
Yeah. Well, it's not
Yeah.
OP14. I'm not on
Yeah,
barriers.
we're not at yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Grand Sage Zack. Please tell us your wisdom.
Garp event and barrier all day.
Just checking, Dean.
Oh, no.
What? Why would you
That's so
lose to
many.
this, Dean? he's like a disappointed father.
I was just curious because this is the one local I missed and I can't believe that.
We
Yeah.
missed you there.
Yeah, we did miss you. I just can't play that many events because I don't want to concede the mirror. It's too tough in the mirror.
So barrier acts weirdly different in the mirror and Garp event weirdly works in the mirror.
I think Garb event is probably the best counter event
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Barrier works really good in the mirror because of the trigger. it's like a it
Oh
kind of
yeah,
catches you a little
your
bit.
God's chosen. That's like when Blackbeard used to run that I bid 500 million, and it's like this card is completely useless except if I trigger it right.
Yeah.
I mean, but Barrier's really good because it's a 4K to your leader or character. And so, like right now, I'm running 7 4K counters and 2 GARP events.
Yeah, 3 of them are not searchable. So, 9 events?
Yeah, dude, it's so beautiful. I've had Boa putting me and then swing 16K unblockable, and I've countered out of it. I've had oh my god,
that's like
blue,
again. This is
Well,
what
you're
you're
talking
talking
about
about.
red ace swing with
14
4
or
through
13?
gates and a Roger, and I was able to counter out of it with 3 life. I was able to count out of 2 12K swings. You're able to do a lot of cheeky things with double fort. With
I gotta say, man, I gotta say the amount of times I've gotten pudding like by an ace player, it feels so I got like pudding in the worst way. I had a player yesterday, he's a good friend of ours, who puddinged me and then was just like, go ahead. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
On what turn?
Like,
what turn are you putting
It was turn 4. He hit me. I took the life and he was like, pudding, go ahead. like go shuffle your cards back into your deck. I did. I drew and he was like, no, pudding. I was like, oh fuck.
I love that.
I've never watched Zed play so like just not play around Roger in my life. Dude,
Yeah,
had like
oh my
a
god.
full board.
Yeah. I was so out of it. Like at the end of that, it was a game after I'd lost to Dean, right? And I was playing somebody and I was like, I'm fine. He's taking it. I have one more. I have plenty of counter. I'll be fine. And then he plays Roger, and then I'm like, oh shit, yeah. I'm so fucked.
Well, yeah, you put him to 0 life with like a full board and like 8 cards in hand.
I literally did not think Roger. I was like, why is he taking so much life? What a oh yeah, that's a card that exists.
Yeah.
What the fuck? It was the biggest brain fart I've had. As the dumbest thing I could have possibly done.
It happens.
But okay, well, I think that's a good little stamp on OP13, which I think, to be honest, it seemed like it was probably the most unpopular meta we've had, I think, since the Royal Blood meta that we had earlier this year.
So speaking, I don't want to reveal too much of the poll because I do have early responses to the answers. This meta, when I asked what is everyone's least favorite meta, 80% of the answers so far are this one.
That's recency bias, I feel like.
That's got to be recency bias, because I understand why they would say that, but there was a large drop off of people around Royal Blood. Like, I didn't see a lot of people playing just because everybody was tired of playing against Shanks
And Blackbeard.
or playing like there was a very Shanks or Blackbeard,
Dude, fuck the Black Yellow Luffy and Rob Lucci meta.
That was great. Oh my god, that was great.
That was wonderful. What are you talking about? What are you talking? You just here to cause trouble, Zach. You're just here to start some shit. Trouble. But
dude, my favorite card of the year was Avalo Pizarro. It didn't even come out this year.
Well, the good news is on the horizon we have a brand new meta coming up, right? A meta that's been actually really, really, rejuvenating for the game in Japan, and a lot of people are looking forward to it. And we're gonna have a unique version of this meta because in our set we get some cards for EBO4, which resurrect a lot of really, really strong decks, right? So OP14 EBO4 is on the horizon, right? We got the 7 Warlords of the Sea. We have a lot of very viable leaders, except for Gecko, which don't fucking do it. Don't do it.
I'm doing it.
Listen
dude.
to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. If you have a chance to smoke crack or play Gecko, go smoke crack. All right?
Oh my god! Get off my yellow leaders, dude.
I will say, the funny thing, and I said this yesterday too. The funniest thing is that that Thriller Bark package, we talked about before, like Rayleigh, the leader itself is so bad, but the support for it is so good, and it makes the deck viable. Same thing with Jinbei, where I think Jinbei isn't great, but the support is pretty good, so it's not, it makes it work. Where this is something where the Thriller Bark support package is so good, but it makes every yellow leader better except
for Gecko.
Because pitch 3 cards from hand to do your ability is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Pizarro was a great card. It doesn't neg from hand. Gecko Moria makes 3 cards from hand.
Stop trying to make Pizarro happen like Fetch from Mean Girls.
I don't
Zack.
think the healing ability is what makes Gecko good. I think it's the trash ability or the knockout ability.
Are we talking about the yellow black Gecko?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're talking about the yellow black Gecko.
I think it's considerably better than some other leaders in OP14. Like,
Oh, it's better than
Law.
Law for sure. Law
it's
is
better,
Yeah,
than,
Law
I think
is-
it's better than
Law is-
Jinbei.
Really? I don't know about that. I feel
So,
like Jinbei.
I think at the core,
especially
I
with
would
the EBO4, the EBO4 support that Jinbei gets, I think is strong enough to be like, okay, well, he has. I mean, Jinbei already was a strong and interesting leader, right? You know, when he came through. But like, I think the new support he gets is really strong. I think especially with how like, and it's also probably also a comparison, right? The Gecko leader, I think, is so bad, and the reason it's so bad is because in comparison to the strength of the other leaders that we got, right? Because we would be like, this is a kind of a trash effect, but it works in some situations. Some people can make it work, but I think like it's so trash because we got some genuinely very strong leaders here. Even the Law ability isn't like horrible, but it's horrible in comparison to Dofi, to Mihawk, right? To Boa's ability. Boa is a crazy leader ability.
Yeah.
That is a
the reason
nuts
I'm not
leader
excited
ability.
about Gecko is it really just is a worse Boa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Boa is a tier 1 leader in my opinion. So if you're a worse version of a tier 1 deck, then I think you're still like Law and Jinbei are both examples of like they just didn't get enough support to warrant them being good.
Do you think Jinbei
Yeah.
is as bad as Law though?
No.
Because
Not
I would
by
have
long
put
shot.
Law and Gecko. Like I heard Gecko has some
Jinbei's
decent
still
winning
shit.
matchups.
Jinbei is still winning shit. If you go to gumgum.gg or One Piece Top
Yeah.
Decks, he's still
Like-
winning like
honestly,
flagship-
This might be
flagships.
a hot take. I think in its current state, I think I put Law in the same tier as like Caesar Clown, and like I think it's in
Yeah.
that
I
tier
could see that.
where it's
Yeah,
that bad.
But I wouldn't put Jinbei in the same thing
No,
with Caesar
absolutely
Clown.
not. No. I think
No.
Jinbei's good.
Jinbei's good. I think Jinbei is solid. I think especially with like, I don't think we have. If we're looking at like the meta right now, it's another jungle meta, right? Like I think we don't have like a blue red ace was
Really?
very dominant.
So here's how I've been describing it to everyone, right? If we had triangle meta and jungle meta, I think this is a jungle meta where the triangle decks have machetes.
Yeah, I like that.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I want to
yeah,
share. I
actually,
want to
I like
share
that a lot.
something. I want to share something very quickly with everybody here, very quickly though. So like, look. So let's look at, and I'm gonna share it. Hold on.
See, but we can agree that the 3 best decks are Emu, Ace, and Boa.
Yeah.
Correct?
I think it's
Okay.
that close. I think those
So
three have
so
machetes.
so look at this right now. This is the current. This is gumgum.gg, right? We have, look at the percentage we have of. So originally this was dominating everything, right? And now you have one Mihawk, but also Boa, right? Like, but also Emu. But this was a very different spread, like a week or two ago, you know. And so like we've had, like if you like the meta's been constantly evolving over the last, like, I mean, even scrolling down, there's a pretty wide variety of, I mean, a lot of Boa, a pretty wide variety of leaders that you're seeing here, you know.
But
that you
that's
haven't-
because the
How
beginning of the
fuck?
format.
How?
Dude, I'm telling you.
How?
Bro,
How?
go and watch Abster's gameplay with the deck. It is a good deck. It is a cohesive deck. It has 8 heals to Boa's like 4. I mean, it has 4 Kumas, but Kuma's heal isn't, you know, comparable to Moria's heal, right? Like the 8 cost Moria's heal. So I think the deck is good. It's just a worse Boa though. Like I don't see the reason why you'd play that over Boa.
Boa's
You
more
also just
fun
starve
too.
Yellow Black
Yeah,
Gecko.
Boa is actually more fun.
Yeah,
Don't you
and the
just
triggers
starve them?
I feel like are more
Starve
impactful
Yellow Black Gecko?
than Boa.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, so typically I hate mirror matchups. I really do. But Dean and I played the Boa for 3 hours last night, and like honestly, we had a blast. Not gonna lie, it actually is a
switched
fun
the
game.
Boa mirror?
Back. Oh my god, it was bad. The
What's the difference in
Chris
this build?
had a blast. You
I
didn't
had a
have
blast.
a blast.
Dean was struggling a little bit, but we had a
What's the
blast.
difference in your bad build?
I took out so basically there's two builds right now that are circulating that have proven results. There's one is the newbie build, which just got released a few days ago, but it won Bandai Card Fest like I think a month ago. He just didn't want to release his list until the season was over for the deck.
Okay.
Pros like that are over there or like that over there. They're just keep stuff. But anyways, he released it and he was running 4 of the Nami, the yellow Nami from EBO3, 4 of the Granny Neon or whatever her name is. I was gonna say Granny Chio.
Well, it's Gloriosa. It's Gloriosa, but the Granny
it's
Gloriosa.
Oh, is it Gloriosa?
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's Granny Neon? Or maybe I was thinking Granny Chio.
Anyway, she's called Granny Neon, but like it's Gloriosa.
It's Gloriosa. It's older. It's Grandma Gloriosa essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it runs 4 Hiyori. So instead of searching like with Sengoku, you run a larger consistency package to make sure you trigger, plus 4 Slave Arrow instead of the Boa event.
Yeah, the Frightened event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what you do, the normal build is like you run Sengoku, you run the Frightened event, you run 0 cost, right? And it's like that's what Dean's giving up, and then you run Hina, right? And so that's what you're giving up for like all of the extra consistency in searching or the triggers.
And the triggers.
Yeah.
But the thing I was telling Dean was like, for me, because I tried it with the Hioris and I tried it with I tried the Gloriosa build too. Like the thing is, if I'm playing the 2K or if I'm playing the 2-drop to set up my life, a lot of the time when I'm taking the trigger, like 40 cards in my deck trigger, right? So like 40-ish cards trigger, right? So like if I pull it up and I go, oh, I would have just liked to keep that anyway. I might as well just put it down, and now I play the 2K for nothing. Or I'm like, oh, this trigger would have been good, but now I can put a better Sisters, right?
There, technically.
Right, but then it's like, to me, I told Jacob last night, I was like, to me, that's the greed you talk about in the Bible, where it's like, am I gonna spend this 2K to put the better trigger up there? Where like I could just swing 7 and be fine. Like,
but the idea is that you're not doing that, right? The idea is that you use Gloriosa to do it off trigger, like if you were to trigger it.
Yeah.
Because,
What's Gloriosa's effect? What's Gloriosa's effect again?
Gloriosa is just Hiyori, but instead of being a 2K, it's a 1K, and it has trigger play this card. So
you're triggering out Hiyori essentially.
Yeah. It's like it provides the same card advantage as Sengoku, but you can trigger it from life. So it's like Sengoku was triggerable.
Yeah, but the problem in the mirror that we were running into last night was like the mirror turned into Kuma Boa War.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I was just getting it more consistently because I was searching them with Sengoku.
Yeah. And the game just hinges on that.
Because you both are testing Boa, I need you to test a card for me because I want to know if it works in Boa.
What card?
Do you remember the old Flaming Dragon King card that was in?
Oh hell no!
Pretty sure it was in the structure deck. It was 2 Dawn, lets you rearrange your entire life and gain 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be helpful in Boa at all?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think it's well. I mean, I will say this: triggers at the end of your life are kind of useless because you've already built a board and you might have to replace. But I don't think you can comfortably leave up 2 Dawn early enough in the game to where it matters, because most decks are not starving you. I think the only deck that can comfortably, and maybe it's not even comfortably, it's more just like it's the dominant strategy because you have to. The only deck that can starve Emu or that can starve Boa is Emu.
Yeah, but the thing is,
because you just build a 10 Dawn and then swing all in.
Yeah, you just kill them in like 1 to 2 turns.
The thing is that I've seen most decks in the game, there's only a couple that don't need to do that. Well, actually, all decks need to do this against Boa. Is it just turned into a race? You need to race her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
most decks can't.
I've had success with Mihawk. Like Boa's a bad matchup for Mihawk, but I've had much more success late game with. What are you laughing at?
Because what isn't a bad matchup for Mihawk?
Tell me. Zack, we just looked at a page. We just looked at a page which is the dominant deck in the format. What are you talking about?
That's what I was gonna say. I would put Emu ahead of Boa, or not Emu. I would put Mihawk ahead of Boa for best decks in the format right now.
Yeah, what are you talking about? What is your beat? Tell me more. Tell me what's your why?
And I've lost to a Boa. I haven't lost to a Mihawk yet. I've won 5 straight games against Mihawk, going first and second. and
Who
only
have you
one
played?
of them was close.
I don't know what
It was
Mihawk
random.
you're
It was
playing, dude.
I don't know
ranked
what
sim,
Mihawks you're playing.
but and I'm very curious because I want to test it out more. But it seemed like if you went for tempo and you just aimed to kill their stuff on board, it's the same problem. It almost felt like the same as Zoro, where if you pseudo starved them, you could run them out of cards and then just win the game from there.
I
And
don't.
it felt
I don't know.
easier
I
to
don't know
do that
what,
into Mihawk than it did to Zoro.
I think
That's
you're.
my
I think you're
thoughts so far.
drastically underestimating. Drastically underestimating the deck. I think like especially with like the amount of things in that. First off, you get like the amount of things that you get. Like I get maybe Nasjuro is probably like a scare, but like the emus I have played, it's very easy to lock that deck down. Once you get to because you have so many cards. You have what is it? You have Perona's not searchable, but you have Perona. You have the 9-cost Mihawks alone are very, very scary to deal with.
That's what I was gonna
Right.
say. I was like, dude, Shanks into Mihawk into
Yeah.
Corona, your blockers.
Yes.
It's usually
Yeah.
like the scoop right there, right? Because they're freezing 3 characters for attacks. They're freezing your 2 blockers so you can't block with them, and you just have to take those hits to the face because they're
Yeah.
so large, right?
And you
Like,
run Ashura, right? And you have your 2K immediately rest something. If you're running the baboon 2K, well, a lot of people aren't doing it anymore, but like if you run the baboon 2K, that's an instant rest of a blocker, right? Shanks, when he attacks, rests one of your blockers. You know, like so, like there's so many things that are on paper. Like I don't know what Mihawks you're playing, but like
Does it
there's so many things
feel-
on paper.
I just put this together. Does it feel like you guys stick with me here? Where remember when Buggy first got the starter deck support, and it felt like once they built Exodia, it was just done.
yeah.
Like does Mihawk kind of feel that way to you? Where like once Mihawk gets all the pieces on the board, once he builds all 5 fucking pieces of Exodia, you're just kind of like, oh, I just can't do anything.
Honestly, yeah, it's 3 pieces of Exodia. It's basically because he's not useless. I feel like Emu for a large amount of the game is just like let's keep it at
survive.
an even keel until let's survive till we get to 10. For Mihawk, it has a similar effect to where late game even Shanks to some extent, right? It feels more like Shanks than it does like Zoro, where like every turn you're getting some sort of value out of it. Right? Like I think the 5 Dawn turn, if you have Coffin Boat or even any 1 cost, right? You're and you see any of your 5 costs, you're in a really, really strong position. Right? If I see Tashigi, I'm in a really, really strong position because Tashigi also has removal mitigation.
Yeah.
You know, immediately, right? Like it's such a strong play to just play Tashigi, rest her, pull up 3. Right. And then also the new versions of this deck are running so many events. There are so many events in Mihawk. Like I low rolled against
crazy in that deck. DMG is crazy in that deck.
Oh,
I mean,
DMG is
it's a
nuts in that
Dawn,
deck.
yeah, 1 Dawn rescue your things.
And then as soon as you get to 7, like 7 I think is the turn where it's gonna go well or it's gonna go bad. Because 7, if you have Shanks, you're good. 7, if you don't have Shanks, it's a little bit dicey. But as soon as you get to 9, if you have a Mihawk in hand, it's very hard because that's an extra 2K every single turn, plus all of your events, right? Plus the stage restands an event, and often I see stage, right? Plus you get the Dawn efficiency. Plus, as soon as he swings or rests, like it stops something in its tracks. There's so many times where I've played a Boa and they play that 9 cost. I've gone down to 0 with Boa and just stayed alive for like 3 or 4 more turns just because of Mihawk, like Law and Beppo, which is crazy in that deck.
I love that card.
Yeah, that card is so good. So like it
We
makes it
hated
very
that card
hard
so
to.
much back when we looked at those starter
We
decks.
did.
I
That's
thought
one
it
thing.
was
That's one thing.
good.
I think the thing was I think going back to it, I think we thought that card was good, but just not. It didn't have the use right now.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think that's what we thought. I think we all knew the card was good. It's just like we don't know what to use it for right now.
It was poorly
We
situated.
thought it wasn't good
because
enough. It wasn't good enough for Bonnie. That was our thing. It was
Yeah.
like she needed something,
Yeah,
and
I
it was
think
like
it could be good enough for Bonnie. It's just like where the meta was situated back then was just 9-drop city with UP, right? And going 7K doesn't matter when your opponent's got 3 9Ks. But now the format has gone very wide in a way that I started considering BY again or like Lucci again, like these decks that are good at mitigating like wider boards and not super tall boards. So I think like I think Bonnie would play a lot in Beppo right now too, right? It's situationally a very good card this meta where it was in past metas.
So I do want to bring up something that like we can't just compare to the East because we're missing EBO3, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's an interesting
EBO3 or EBO4.
Yeah, we're missing EBO3, but we're getting EBO4.
Yeah, but we're missing EBO3. So like the thing is that, like again, I've said it before, and I think again, there's no argument here that like I think Nami is just like the hard wall that just destroys Boa. It's like not even close.
Yeah.
So like my thing is, I think Boa beats Mihawk. Like I think pretty definitively. From my,
I think it's because of how much the deck bricks, but the reason I like Mihawk is it like card for card, it's like card efficiency is insane, even compared to Bonnie, right?
Yeah,
it has tools to deal with every matchup. Is it going to see those tools?
No. My thing is, look. So
again, I think Mihawk is Shanks. It's a strong deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it has and it's a little bit of it's like Shanks and GP kind of like mixed, right? Like it has tools that it needs, but you know it can get it can get outplayed, you know, within one turn.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't see the things you need.
So here's what I'm saying. So like the thing is, like, I think Boa beats Mihawk, right? I think that's like a pretty definitive thing, where because you want to race, right? But I think Boa just goes faster than Mihawk does, and so I'm able to burn you down quicker in this. Like if we're racing, you're playing catch up the whole time as Mihawk, right? So I think Boa,
if you
Boa
see the
wins.
things you need, it's very tough for Mihawk. Yeah.
But then I think the thing is where without EBO3, you're missing that hard Nami check on the Boas, so Boa just kind of runs wild, right? Especially with this Western format with no EBO3,
and she builds differently too, so she can just focus on her game plan instead of having any mitigative strategies.
Yeah, so that's why so I don't have to tech for any kind of other EBO3 matchup, or like I don't have to do anything else. I just go and I try to race you, and then I think right now I would put Boa ahead, at least in this meta right now that we're gonna have, just because again there's no hard check for Boa.
Well, what do you feel? Here's a question for everybody here. What do we feel about the other support that other decks are getting with this resurgence? I mean, we already know Emu is still going to be strong.
Yeah,
right.
Emu, Ace are still strong.
Emu and Ace are still strong. Zoro is gone, like unfortunately, but he's not.
Is Zoro only gone because of Mihawk?
I think so, because it's going to be a popular
Boa.
Yeah, it's because of Boa.
Oh yeah, also Boa.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's
because like your ability doesn't matter against Boa.
Please clear my board. I beg of you, swing on my Kuma and my Gorgon sisters, please.
Yeah, I mean that was always a difficulty for Zoro in general, because I mean that was the difficulty with Yellow Kid, you know. Those if they saw Hawkins, right, and they played it right, like Hawkins was tough to deal with, you know, in general. But like now every character is a Hawkins in your deck, you know, almost every character. So it becomes really, really hard to play, and you don't have the Dawn efficiency or any of the other like little cool effects that Mihawk has to kind of deal with it. So Zoro kind of goes away. But I think like what about, I think the two decks that I'm thinking of right now that are going to get a huge boost in the next set that we haven't been talking about are, and they're already decently strong, but they just need something, and I think they get it. It's Blue Purple Sanji and Kuzan. Like
so
Kuzan specifically.
Blue Purple Sanji doesn't get the main card it needs until
EBO3. It needs EBO3.
It needs the Reiju.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it needs the
that's
Reiju.
true. So maybe not Blue Purple. But what about Kuzan? Kuzan we're talking about.
Kuzan for sure, but yeah, like a lot of decks just fall in this category. Yeah, that's one of them. Another one is Purple Yellow Rosinante. Like that 8K blocker that it gets is insane, but it doesn't get the heal utility that it needs from the female law in EBO3, right? So
that's true. Yeah,
a few decks are in these categories where they really need the cards from EBO3 that were supposed to work in tandem with the cards from EBO4, but they just don't have them. So I think
it's such a weird release schedule, man. It's so weird.
Yeah, I think the more kind of interesting things for me, at least for now, like again, I know we meme about it, but like, yo, Foxy kind of cooking.
Yeah. Also Foxy.
Foxy, terrifying.
That's another really scary deck that we see coming up from behind. To be honest, I haven't seen a ton of those Foxies. Like I haven't seen a ton of Foxy lists yet, but that seems like a really scary deck.
Yeah,
Dude,
Foxy.
I feel the Foxy in the Treasure Cup.
Yeah, I think Carrot too is one that until
Carrot?
we get EBO3, it's not 100%, but like plus the EBO4 stuff's kind of crazy. And then my ultimate, well, not my ultimate cope, but like my cope for a long time was, I think this is when I first started meeting you guys, was I coped really hard for Red Green Odin. Like I still think that deck's strong. The Kika Nojo is so critical for this deck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Turning yourself to a 7K leader,
Yeah,
right?
7K leader and then swing twice. Like,
yeah, super good.
Do you guys think that the reason that they're releasing these the way they're releasing them is to try to find out, because it feels like each set has this very different design philosophy, like very starkly different design philosophy they're dropping, right? So is there, do you, and this is just a theory that I just thought up, like, do you think that there is an intention of testing out which design philosophy breaks the game, or is the problem in a meta and stuff like that? So they're giving everything to Japan in sequential order, but they're giving us things out of order and removing certain elements so they can see, okay, well, is this element gonna make things worse, or was this element the real thing that made things, you know, like that? Does that make sense? Like trying to mitigate for balance as they're going forward.
Speaking from someone that's worked in game dev and worked in like a gaming space where where release schedules and like balance has been an issue, it's hard to say that there's like an intentionality of like, yeah, this is the schedule. I think a lot of it is cool
release.
Yeah, here's like global release we're planning for. Okay, we need to split this set into 2. Okay, how do we do that effectively? And then what pieces can we give this to make it like fill in some blanks here?
Yeah.
But I don't think they're testing per se. I think they're kind of saying like, this is a cool wrinkle. Let's see how it goes. Because I think in theory, a lot of this stuff is like, I think they know it's going to be really messy until we get to global release. I think they're
worst case scenario, it's like a month maybe.
Yeah, it's like a month.
What, 2 months?
Yeah.
2 months.
know
global release is in April.
Because they were showing us the calendar. I think some content creator in our
they
space.
get screwed.
I think it was Eggman who did it, but they basically between OP14, OP15 is probably the biggest gap they've ever had for a set release.
Yeah.
And all they have is in mid-January, they get EBO4 like in its full contents to like give them something to play with. But even just between like usually EBs break up the set gaps into like a month and a half between. So like it'll be like a month and a half after 14 releases, you get EBO4, right? And then a month and a half after EBO4, you get EBO5, or you get a OP15, right?
Yeah, so,
and so they're barren for they're barren for the next 3 months.
Yeah, that's gonna. I mean, at least it's a jungle meta, so it'll be fun and really expansive. They get to test a lot of new things, but like, I can't. That just. It seems like they're gonna be like, you know, pretty salty where we get a lot of new things. So I don't imagine it's intentional, other than global release. I just think they're trying to like speed up us and slow down them so that we get synced, because it would suck for them if they were trying to do this in an intentional manner.
Yeah. Also, again, it's the thing of when you're thinking about game balance and like any kind of balance thing, it's hard to know how the meta is going to evolve once it gets into the hands of thousands of people.
Yeah, because people are gonna break the game in ways.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out all
kinds
kinds of weird shit that, like, you know, like
like Kaido.
Yeah, Kaido. I was just gonna say Kaido's kind of nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of some of the unintentional things, or maybe intentional a little bit, right? Before we move on to, I think, a big discussion that the community's been having about prices and card market and everything like that. I do want to very quickly talk about that new Luffy Egghead leader, right? And even the Bonnie leader a little bit too, the red yellow Bonnie, right? Because that leader, the Luffy Egghead starter deck leader came out, and it's a 6 life leader. Its effect doesn't activate till he has like 2 life, and isn't it like draw 1 card, dis 1 card when attacking?
Yeah,
right?
it's just loot once you're at 2 life or less, which sucks. But.
Yeah,
that sounds horrible.
But It sounds horrible, but it seems like it has some people been cooking a little bit with it in the East, a little bit, right? Because this is 6 life leader. It is yellow, right? 6 life is a lot for a yellow leader to work with, and it's Egghead, which lives and dies off of triggers. So I just wanted to kind of get like very quickly, especially because Egghead seems to be this, to be honest, like the amount of love we saw like Dressrosa get in that Royal Blood set, and people were trying, we're gonna make Dressrosa happen. Man, they've really been buffing Egghead type cards a lot, you know, over these last few sets.
Not gonna lie, I think this starter deck and all this support does more for Vegapunk and yellow Bonnie, like mono yellow Bonnie, than these two new leaders.
Yeah.
Well, to talk a little bit about that, why do you think that?
I think those two leader abilities are way stronger, and they just give them more tools to do stuff with than these two, like, that feel really kind of gimmicky.
I do feel a little bit gimmicky.
I just think card advantage has evolved so like rapidly over the past few sets that it's like, you look at like other like large life leaders, which was really Whitebeard, and then there was a Eustace Kid, the red purple one, which was a 5 life double color leader, right? That would eventually get its power boosted, even though it started at 4K. So like those are your comparison points. And the comparison, like the trade-off was, yes, you're getting more card advantage through life, right? And, you know, slowing down your opponent because you have more life while maintaining your color advantage because you're a 2-color leader, or in Whitebeard's case, you know, you're taking that life yourself, right? So there were drawbacks, but like it was worth it back then because card advantage wasn't so readily available. Now every color and every archetype has so much card advantage. It's not enough.
Card advantage feels like what wins you the game in OP13. You know, the fact that, like, we were just talking about it when we played yesterday, right? Is like the fact that I can go from having like 3 cards in hand to playing 2 turns of 10 cost and having 8 cards in hand while producing 5-7K bodies, or like Ace, right? The fact that you can play it. When me and Dean were playing, just the fact that he had 8 cards in hand and I had, well, I said when I had like, I went down in cards when you were attacking, right? But like when you had 8 and I had 5, I was like, I lose this game immediately. I was like, there's no way I can win this game just because of that.
But I think it's the snowball effect of it, rather, right? It's not just that it's 3 cards. It's like what those 3 cards produce and further card advantage. If one of them's a 10 cost, I'm going to go up another, you know, +2, right? Yeah. And I think they were hoping that having a 6th life as a vanilla leader, you know, where you'd usually have 5 life, and just giving it some shitty ability would be enough, because, and it would have been enough like 5 or 6 sets ago. It's just not enough now. Who cares that you get 1 extra life if you don't have a leader ability that's polarizing the matchup or the game for you?
Yeah. Roger's a 5 life, 7K leader, and even that's not top of the meta right now. So
Roger has a huge issue with card advantage too. Like, you have to play every Roger I've talked to, like, and even playing the deck myself, like, you're not supposed to play when you get to your higher Dawn sets. You're not supposed to play Rayleigh or anything first. You play Scalper Gaban, because you want to make sure your hand is big enough to deal with whatever's coming next. You know.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if the thing with Rayleigh is, or with Rogers, like, if you don't see triple ramp, you're in an uphill battle, right? But
even the ramp you're seeing is all of your defense too.
100%.
Like, your ramp is not, you're like, the only ramp that you have that is not, I mean, like, your other cards, your other cards are there, right? Like, you have, like, almost everything ramps in that deck, but the main ramp pieces that you're looking for in the initial hand are the event. I'm not gonna name it because its name is longer than time. The buggy, right? Or even Douglas Bullet is not like you're not praying for a Douglas Bullet immediately, right? You want to have the event or buggy as well with that. Yeah, you know,
the ramp if you only have Douglas Bullet, counter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all Bond. You're playing Bond Clay too, like,
and then Bond Clay too. Yeah, so like you're ripping a 2K or a 3K, like a counter event 3K, which you need those events out of your hand to just ramp 1 to just even get to that 7K in general, right? I still think Roger's a really fun deck, and, you know, God, I wish it was better. It had a little bit more support to kind of deal with the roulette a little bit. Yeah, more consistent. But
well, I
like
think the problem, it stirs the line of like if it is too consistent, then it becomes the auto win deck, right?
Yeah, it's really strong
terrifying.
at that point.
Nothing's closer to being like auto win and top of the format than Roger. Like it.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you do hit your ramp pieces and play double shanks, no deck can come back.
Yeah.
From that. Your whole board is shrunk by 2K, and I'm a 7K leader. And then they have Roger now.
And then
like,
I play
I think
another,
it's
and then I play
so
another Shanks, and now
right.
you're down 3K. Even if you red rock or get rid of one, I'm still coming in.
But even more so than that, you have not like he becomes a 9K leader every time he just plays a fucking
Negator Roger. Yeah.
his own Roger. Yeah, that's definitely very scary. Like the Roger. That was another thing. That was another card before we move on to card market discussion. Another card, Chris. I think that like people are not going to put on your poll that I think they should be thinking about. That 6-cost Uta, I think, is a card that everybody we talk so much shit. We made little funny animation jokes for that fucking Uta on that episode.
Okay. Listen,
The 2-cost Uta.
the 2K Uta
The 6-cost.
is good. It wasn't good in that context. Shanks needed so much more than that. It still needs more than that, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They basically gave us like 2 subpar cards that were supposed to work with each other and say, yeah, go for it. When like Blackbeard got like a completely revision, right? Buggy got a complete revision.
Blackbeard
I
got a
wanna
spin-off
say-
franchise and
No, I have to say too.
Blackbeard only got two cards
No.
that actually made into the deck.
listen. Blackbeard got Luca and we got Anthony Davis. Okay, Shanks got Anthony Davis.
Back.
Actually-
Okay, so let me bring something because we can bring up context, right? The idea that yes, Uta right now is an extremely strong card. Is it still strong if we don't have 8 costs of
No.
I Am Whitebeard event? No.
No,
That's what I'm saying,
no.
right? Like I think the Uta is only strong because that event exists and because we can play out the exact card
Also
you
the
need
Roger,
with the
but
room.
also the Roger promo having that there, like you can play
Sure.
those two. Yeah.
But like again, it's strong
for
within
you,
the
yeah.
context, right? Like, and wait, does the Roger turn on the Uta? Is it enough?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's just
then
10K.
yeah.
8 cost 12. It's an 8 cost 10K.
Yeah. So like that's the thing is like the fact that there are so many. It's because there are also so many 10Ks in the format in general. Like you have like 8 cost 10K being a pretty consistent stat line that they're using more and more now. And so like I think that's going to be that is something that like, well, okay, this card's going to see a lot more utility on any deck that has red in it. To kind of just come up there and be a blocker. But yeah, I get why we shit on it because it wasn't shit, but we were shitting on it for so many other reasons. Like, why the fuck? When are you ever gonna have like that 10K? But like, it makes so much more sense now.
It is. It's still such a narrow card. Like, it's such a narrow utility, but they gave it the perfect narrow utility in OP13. That's the only difference, and that's why. I mean, we're gonna get into it right now, right? We're gonna like rank some of the best cards, but like, I still think I would have a hard time putting that like higher on the list because it's really only good in Ace because Ace developed this really niche play line where you play an 8 cost 10 or 8 cost 10 cost 12K, but it's not really a 10 cost. It's a 6 cost because you get 4 free Dawn and you draw 2 and discard 1 and you just shit on your opponent.
I will say they've been trying to build that Ace deck for 6 sets. They've been trying to be like, you guys are gonna fucking play these 19 Whitebeards that we have. You're gonna play all of them,
Dude,
and you're gonna like it
forever. Oh my god, there's so many.
They made Taxbeard. They made so many. Like you want? Is this a good enough Whitebeard? Is this good enough? We're gonna make Whitebeard work, And then they made one and the floodgates opened.
No,
It was
now let's just wait to see
underestimated
what
how
Whitebeard
good-
we get in Paramount War.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Oh, are we going back to Paramount War in
Yeah.
like 16
Supposedly.
or
16 apparently, yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
16.
15
That's
Sky
what it was.
Island.
No, Skyline
We'll
15.
eventually,
15
we'll
is
eventually
Skyline.
get to
16,
Alba.
16. So the first global release set apparently is supposed to be
Sky Island.
Sky. No, well,
No, it's
Paramount
15.
War.
It's 15. 15 is the first global release
Okay,
set.
then yeah,
so-
then that's
Because we get the rest of
that's
EVO4
Skyland.
with it.
Yeah, that's Skyland, and then the global release or like the. Well, again, our global release can't be. Well, The sync will happen for 15, but the release, like getting them at the same time, will be 16.
Yeah.
Half of 15 will have EVO4 in it, so it's a different product still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It catches us up, so we'll all have the same cards, but it's technically a different product.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of product, like that little segue, it's great discussion on OP14, but I think before we wrap up, and because we've been talking for a little bit, I think we should have a decent discussion about the One Piece TCG market and where things are. If you haven't heard or if you haven't seen, the Pokemon Bros have abandoned Pikachu and taken up our savior Luffy and have driven up the fucking price of everything. Oh my god. Alt arts are exploding. EBO 2 boxes are $500 a piece, $700 actually when I just checked.
Bulk is exploding.
Yeah.
Bulk.
Yeah,
Bulk
is exploding.
The leader, the OG Luffy leader from Romance Dawn,
Yes.
hit $15 at one point. The common.
The common?
Yeah.
The common hit $15 at one
I
point.
sold 15 of them.
So much
Oh
of
my
this.
God.
So much of this is built by speculation. People buying things out and artificially inflating the price. Some of it is legitimate. Now, I will say there are still plenty of decks, including Emu, that you can still get for a relatively cheap stake.
So
Because
I
if you're
will
not
argue-
going for all,
Yeah, I will argue this, that if you want to play this game, that nothing's changed for you.
Yeah. Still super
Yeah.
cheap.
so that's something that I do want to say. So getting normal cards is still cheap. It's still accessible, but all of the alt arts have exploded, right? So there's a couple things that I wanted to toss to this group and see what you guys think is true or what you think is untrue, right? It's theory one, it's Jover. The Poke Bros will ruin this. Prices will go up and this game will be infinitely unaffordable to anybody who wants to get into it, and they will destroy everything, right? Number two, this is a bubble.
We should tackle this one at a
that will
time, though.
explode.
You're gonna go through all of them?
Well, I think the first one's
you tell
wrong.
me what you think
I
of
think the first one's wrong.
Yeah, okay. Number two, it's a bubble. It will explode and everything will go back to normal. And then like aside to each of these, right? Number three, any sort of buying and selling of One Piece TCG merchandise is actually supportive of the inflationary market and all of the Poke Bros, and you should only play for the love of the game, and if you're trying to sell cards, you're actually making things worse. These are three distinct, specific, like prevalent feelings across the Reddits, across Twitterverse, and everything like that. So I want to open it up. How do you feel about all three of these, and where do you think this is going?
Dean and I had a pretty lengthy discussion about this last night.
Yeah, I brought it up because recently on the big One Piece subreddit, they banned any talk of like financial gain or like, trying to plus by buying things out, or they even banned, I think, based on membership in the finance subreddit, or like if you're like an active member in there. And I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm generally in support of it, but I've never seen another card game or another thing rally like that. And I've been in this like shtick so many times, like sneakers, Pokemon, other card games, like
Riftbound.
Riftbound's going through it right now, right? So can you imagine if like the Riftbound subreddit said, hey, if you're like pumping the market in any way, you're banned from this subreddit, right?
It's also wintertime, so we also have to know that the anxiety peaks for everybody during wintertime. It's also going on in politics. Like if you're a member of, I mean, like literally just tangential, like if you have any pro Gaza statements, you're banned from this subreddit. If you have any any relation, if any pro Stranger Things statements, you're actually a Zionist, so you're banned here.
Dude,
like I said, it's the
show's
real
so
fucking
bad.
thing.
I've been watching. I'm sorry to cut you off, dude. I've been watching Stranger Things since I was a kid. Oh my god, it's bad.
I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's as bad as people. But we can go into the Stranger Things debate at some point.
So here, let's
But you know
get
what I'm
back-
saying, right? Like everybody's inflating everything is like a tacit like.
Oh well, I think people went crazy because this last episode was like people were very homophobic about it, right?
Yeah. But also I'm talking
I'll be
about
right back.
like One Piece, right? I think you're I generally agree that I have to say I generally agree that like I understand the reasoning for trying to stop like Poke Bros from trying to inflate prices and making things worse. But also I think there is a lot of people who are very reactionary and trying to paint with a broad brush because they're so scared of things becoming as bad as Pokemon, which is a genuine fear, right? But I think that overcorrection may actually make things worse rather than better in terms of protecting the community from this kind of stuff.
So this is what I'll say as like someone that's collected Pokemon for a while. The thing I told Dean was like, I think it is a bubble. Like we saw it with Pokemon recently bursted, where again prices for Pokemon have dropped 30% ish across the board over the past like month and a half, right? Because again, it's like it's vendors selling to other vendors, right? They're pumping to each other. And I think that's what's happening now with the One Piece stuff, where like people are just pumping to each other and the prices are going up. But the things that they're pumping are either A, things that should have been higher in the first place, right? Like some of the mangas and some of the stuff and some of the SPs were like greatly undervalued, which I think now they're just seeing what their value is. And then now they're buying stuff that like, again, like the OP01 Romance Dawn common leader, like, they don't know what they're buying, right? So like, it's just a thing of cool.
I mean, that's a textbook thing. Like I think the market was held up initially by like the thing about these card markets is you can tell like if there's actual utility, if there's cool art, that's one thing, right? Yeah. But if there's actual utility to the card and there's cool art, then it's very expensive. Right. And so like watching people pump, you know, the fucking common Luffy, or even just like other like random cards that are like really not that. As people are pumping the Gear 5 I get why, because the art is so cool, the Gear 5 alt art Luffy, the 10 cost, but nobody plays that card anymore,
right?
You know,
well, I think it's the thing where like I think they're gonna find out really quickly, because again, the Pokemon market makes sense because people love Pokemon. Like even as a kid, I knew how to play Pokemon, but all my friends collected Pokemon cards that didn't know how the game worked. They just liked the card and the art. And so that was like the history of the Pokemon TCG, of like the majority of Pokemon collectors don't play the card game. They just like the card.
Why the art? Right? It's like 93% or something.
Yeah. So it's the majority of big Pokemon collectors and even casual collectors just collect for the art. Where I would say for the One Piece card game, it's almost the opposite, where people get into collecting One Piece because they play the card game. And so like when all these vendors are pumping to each other, once that goes away, then the regular audience is left to sell to. Yeah, we're not buying, you know, alt art Gear 5 10 cost Luffy. We're buying, like the thing I was telling Dean last night, like the perfect example to me is like the I Am White, the Whitebeard, the Blocker Beard 10 drop alt. Should be, given the current market prices and like where we're trending, that card should be way higher. It's playable. It's a general blue card that's playable and like highly and looks really pretty.
It's like 60.
Yeah, it's like $60. But like think about how the market is
low.
Think about how the market has gone
That's
so
low
far
for an alt art.
Well, think about how the market is
for
now.
that alt art.
It's low in
the most
context
recent set,
$400 because boxes are $400, lesser in circulation, lesser
That's
being
what I'm
open,
saying. Right, so like given that boxes are 400, one of the most playable and like used alt arts in the game from that set being $60 is so low.
Yeah.
Within context. I'm saying again, I'm not saying it should be higher. I'm saying within the context of where the market is currently at, that card is greatly undervalued because there's a divide between what the player base and what like most players want versus what the investors are investing in, right?
Yeah, they're speculating like, oh, I need waifu. Like the Luffy thing, the common Luffy leader, it just screams, oh, I missed out on the good Luffys that I could have bought. What's the next thing I can just pump?
Yeah, 100%.
Sky, right?
It's that guy. It's Kabuto King. They're pumping Kabutos like
actually.
And I think one thing about it is like because like again, like a lot of people like and it is a little bit of a testament to Bandai with some of the proofing that they've done over the last year, right? First off, I think I wish the supply was more, but you know, we were talking this year about the fact that, you know, like they are trying to keep an active eye on the market for making sure things are accessible, like with PRBO2. PRBO2, I think that release was very difficult to find, but if you go into the PRBO2 singles, the major cards that people wanted are still stupidly affordable in that set, right? I mean, like, I think some of the rares,
$7.
huh?
Shiryu is $7.
Yeah, but you know what's even crazier? That wasn't like, I think Bon Clay is only like 9 or 10. Like I saw the secret Luffy.
Bon Clay was back to
Bon
20.
Clay's
Bon
like
Clay's back to
$30
$30 now.
dude.
But that's
really?
that's better than the 80 he was at,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
But the thing is, like, there's no like definitive script or like trend to this, because yeah, Shiryu is $7, but like, you know, SPs of course have way harder pull rates. But the Blackbeard event, that deck is not like in the meta right now, Blackbeard, right? Why is the event $150?
It's the cheapest of the events.
But why are they all so expensive? They're not that nice looking, except for Giant, right? They're not playable in the sense that Giant is.
Yeah.
Giant is $600 now. At least I can be like, okay, it's tier 5, it's playable, it's good looking, because it's like the art's actually pretty nice compared to the other one.
$600 is kind of crazy, dude. That's nuts.
That's the same as the Onami that's been $500, $600 for forever now. The SP of that from back in what, OP06, OP07,
but even like,
it's like 300.
But even like, there's some things that are just way too greedy. That like the red super alternate art, like Luffy, the 6 cost Luffy being one of them being an $18,000 listing. Come the fuck on. Like,
wait,
come the fuck on.
Oh, the red manga event or the red manga,
dude.
Luffy?
Yeah, bro. Like, hold on to that. Enjoy that. That's gonna be a souvenir for you forever. Like, that's crazy to me.
You keep that.
Yeah.
For a very long time.
I just don't get it. I think I just need to like, price memory is big, but also like price memory in the reverse direction, right? Is also like how can people want to buy these cards when a month ago or 2 months ago they were not half the price, not a quarter of the price, but in some cases a tenth of the price.
Yeah.
Goldie Roger manga, the lowest listing is $30K. It was around $3K a month ago.
Yeah. And it's like, and it definitely is a bubble. I think what's here's the thing that here's the thing that I'm happy about the community, and here's the warning I have, right? I am really happy the community is very apprehensive to this, because a lot of people are not buying some of the shit. It's a lot of just collectors selling to collectors, right? So like a lot of that pump is going to keep happening, but like people, and because it's winter, Bandai's not going to put anything, but they're going to have to abandon their position when meta changes and the demand changes, right? Like demand is going to significantly change.
Yeah,
over the next 2 months.
I think the difference that they're going to find is, again, like right now, like you're saying, it's collectors to collectors, but it's what I was saying, where once we get a new set and the things change, they're going to find very quickly that like the majority of the player base just wants playables cards, like pretty playable cards. And if it's not that, then they don't care. And so they're going to start pumping everything with Luffy in it. But as soon as Luffy cards or whatever, they find an irrelevant Luffy card that they're trying to pump, no one's going to buy it.
It doesn't really make sense.
That's true.
And so like that's a big issue. I think the other thing that we have to also be really aware of, that I'm a little bit worried about when you're trying to mitigate for this kind of stuff, I do think banning all discussion of like just selling One Piece stuff is a little bit, because that is a big part of the game. Like you're not trying to like, oh, buy up all the things and sell for profit. Like I understand like limiting and basically cornering markets like hurts the game. Like I'm not advocating for that. But I'm like, if you pull an SP and you want to fucking, or you win a championship and you want to sell and you want to talk about, getting your stuff graded and selling that kind of stuff, like I think, like discussion of that and the financial aspect of that with card games is normal for card games. I know you want to mitigate, but it's not the same. You can talk about the financial, wins and losses of One Piece without advocating for this very speculative market by bad faith actors who have no investment in the property, because I think that those are two. It was like the Dodgers Luffy situation, right? There are people who legitimately like really wanted that card because they have a connection to it and everything like that. And there are people who grabbed that card and started selling it for like tens of thousands of dollars, right? Or not tens of, but like thousands and thousands of dollars overnight.
You know,
And
I mean, we had vendors from Japan, like, you know,
Yeah.
that were representing stores like Chris was talking about earlier this year, that just came in hordes with copious amounts of cash to buy them at $200 to $300 a piece. And we were looking at them like, they're idiots, dude. Look how many are in circulation, right? But like now who's the idiot, right?
Yeah.
They're
So I told
pushing
you, I thought it was
out.
going to keep going up. I told you.
I mean, hey,
and the thing is,
they might
I
get a
will
reprint.
say,
I hope
I mean, they
no,
could
it's
get a
not.
reprint.
It's
I hope so.
the translation was wrong from that. But anyway,
I think the reason it also went up, like it's also because the Dodgers had the craziest World Series in history.
Yeah.
This
But I
year.
will
That
say-
that
I will
has
say-
also something to do with
I will
it.
say, like, I want to make the clarification here in the difference, right? What's happening now and what happened with the Japanese stores coming over here are very different. The Japanese stores
For sure.
came over here to buy product to bring back to Japan to sell to other players and like people in Japan.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't like they were coming to pump and dump. They were coming to like get the product to bring back to their country, right? And like sell to their client and their customer base. And like
Because it
bring
was only released in America. It wasn't released in Japan, was it?
and it was only
No, it
released
wasn't
at that
released in
game. That
Yeah,
one
okay.
game was the only time you could get them. So like
Yeah.
they came specifically to make sure that they could get their customers that card. And so it still went, like, the majority of Dodger and Luffy cards, from my understanding and from what I'm just watching the market, the majority of those cards are still with fans and still with people
Yeah.
that care about One Piece and the game. And it's not really some people have bought them out, and like, again, it's still obviously, but from my understanding, a lot of collectors have kept their cards because like that card means a lot to them, or it means a lot to our community.
Yeah.
And so it becomes more of a that's a grail that hasn't really gotten bought out that often.
The One Piece base is also filled, I think, with more Pokemon is a universal, like I got my car like detailed, and the detailer was like, saw that I had One Piece cards. He's like, hey, do you know this guy? Does your guy also do Pokemon cards? Like, it's a universal. We've talked about it. Yeah, it's a universally collected thing.
Yeah.
A lot of kids love this shit. So anything kid related, people want to put a premium on. One Piece's like demographic is quite a bit different than Pokemon's. You know. So I think that, like, yeah, that also contributes to the fact that it's a bubble. I think in general, I again, the worry that I have is that I think I just don't want people to panic over it, right? I see this panic, like even last year I saw this panic around OP09 when, you know, and we weren't like really, we weren't hanging out as much as like I was just kind of new to the game a little bit, you know. But like even around OP09, I remember people really like pumping fucking Shanks leader, you know, and the Blackbeard leader was going fucking crazy, right? And the purple black Luffy leader was, you know, the purple black Luffy leader, but like, you know, all of the other cards were going nuts.
Wasn't that the most expensive of the leaders at the time?
No, it was not. No, it was not. And I know
Blackbeard
because
was, Blackbeard was for sure.
I pulled two Blackbeards and I pulled a purple black Luffy leader, and I'm like, oh, this is the one I didn't want to pull because it was going for $40, and then the Shanks was going for like $70, $85, right, for that Shanks card. And then the Blackbeard alt arts were also going to, like, I feel like at the end of the year there's so little supply, so people get freaked out and you know, they're spending all their money. I spent so much money last December. This December I didn't spend nearly as much money on One Piece, right? And just kind of like picked my battles about what to buy and what not to buy, you know. And I'm staying out of this market right now, but like last year it dropped by February. Like, all that shit was worth, like that
Now
Shanks
again,
went from $70 to like $30.
Yeah, I will
And I was
say,
like,
I will
fuck.
say again, I think there's a bubble. I think there's a limit. I think there's certain things that are never going to go back down. I think mangas stayed near this price threshold. I think mangas become like
Really? You think they're like $3,000, $18,000?
Yeah.
I think they
Mangas
stay.
were a high rarity card. They were way undervalued beforehand.
Yeah.
The fact
Like,
that we
dude-
could have picked up mangas for $300 to $500 is insane. That never should have been a thing.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I
I think this is the part of the market course correcting here. Now it's overcorrecting, and I think it pops and then drops down to like the level it should be at. So maybe it's not $3 or $4 but at least it's over $1,000.
Over $1,000 I think is fine, but I think $18,000 is
100%. But I'm
Red
I'm
manga
yeah.
is
I mean,
different.
for a
manga is
red
phenomenal.
manga,
yeah.
for
Red manga as well?
manga,
It's like the
already
Goldie Roger
that
manga.
rare?
It's an anomaly. You can't put it on the same tier as or like Signature Luffy, right? From OP05. Like
Yeah.
these like hyper chase that are even harder to pull, like they get into like tens of cases number to open.
Oh yeah, if it's
Complete
tens
anomaly.
of cases, yeah. Like if you're like, but I think like if the rarity is 1 every 2 cases, right? Like what's a manga rarity is like 1 every 2
One
cases.
every three cases or
Okay.
3.5 cases.
Yeah,
But
so
red
then-
manga,
so then-
it's like in the 40 case range.
Yeah, it's like
or
one
something.
Okay, well
One
then
of
yeah,
the 40,
that makes sense then. Yeah, I'll give you that. Well, then I'll pull back on that. But I
Mhm.
think like if you're getting like a gear, like if you're putting a manga at like 10K, that's like it's a normal manga. That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
You know?
But also at that
Thankfully, we
point,
don't have that.
what defines a normal manga? Because we've
Yeah.
had mangas that range from completely unplayable trash to 9-cost Blue Sanji, which is a 4 of in Blue Purple Luffy and
Yeah.
was the best deck.
Well, so
Of the year,
the
technically.
card that I
But people buying those are mainly collectors. The people who are buying, like it's the audience it's for, right? Like that's what I'm saying is like I feel like if the audience is the cards for collectors, I understand. I agree with Chris. Are gonna have some sort of premium. So like SPs maybe will go up a little bit. And like mangas are going to be much higher, right? But I think like normal alt arts and stuff like that. I mean, those are the audience for that is like half collector, but it's a lot of players. Players are going to be buying most of those because they want to buy 4 of those. They don't want to buy 1. They want to buy 4 or at least 2, right? Like the I think isn't the alt arts for the 5 elders, haven't those gone down? Aren't those like $30 or something like that for like the normal alt arts for like War Curie and shit like that?
They're like
I haven't
between
looked at the
30 and
alt arts.
35.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And they go down more. I
War
think.
Curie, yeah, the War Curie alt art is like $30 right now. You know,
Yeah.
and like and on all of I remember like seeing those and being like, oh man, this is gonna be. I thought each of these alt arts was gonna be $50. They're on like $30-$40 for like each of these,
okay,
right?
but that means to alt art out an emu deck at $30 for 1, and so you've got 4 for each. 'Cause
Okay,
you got a play set, and then
I'm
you've
not
got the
sa-
5 elders.
Yeah, don't do that
I'm not
math.
saying
It's
I'm
gonna
not
get
saying
real
I'm not
tough.
saying yeah, I'm not saying you should alt art your emu deck, right? But I am saying you're not Makenyu, okay? You don't make that fucking One Piece money like that. All right?
Dude,
but
I
I'm saying yeah, he's also fucking crazy.
That was
but like,
so cool.
but I think that like I think, you know, I think yeah, it'll probably course correct because the people they're trying to sell to, who they want to sell these things, they can't the markets they're trying to corner are not going to be the people, like, because if they fucking pumped all of the elder prices, I would have just played fucking just normal elders, like
Yeah.
the basest ass rarity of those kind of cards.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm still doing it.
I think again,
Same.
I think the cards that don't drop or the cards that like again were undervalued to me are the ones that hit like every base, right?
Yeah.
Or checked every box, right? So like again, the example that I used, again, I was beating the drum for a long time, was the Nami manga, right? Like
Yeah.
it's from
Yeah, you were.
It's from PRBO1, so it's from one of the rarest and like limited sets that we ever got. It's Nami, so it's one of those popular One Piece characters in the show and
Yeah.
number 1 waifu, right? Then it's the 1-cost red searcher that's important in almost every red Straw Hat deck,
Yeah.
right? Like it's again, it's a good looking card. So it's a manga in a rare set with a flagship character and a highly playable card.
Yeah.
It hits every checkbox, and that card was $400 for the like 6 months. There's
Yeah.
no reason that card should have been $400.
It should have been like well, we didn't really see, like, we didn't know what the ceiling was for this game. I
Yeah,
think
Zach,
we-
you just
we
looking up right
found
now
that.
how much it is?
No, I was looking up my other chase card from forever ago, and at first I thought it dropped, but it hasn't.
So I think the other question is, does the fact that OP14, I think because we have OP14 and then we have EBO3, right? For full disclosure, me and Dean got cases. Dean's still waiting on one of his cases for OP.
I don't think I'm getting it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
For
Unless-
for
Unless you
OP4
have the most
13.
unless you have the most honorable vendor in the world, I don't think they're getting.
Well, we have vendors like so the guy who I go through, I think his vendor is not. Dean has worries, but like I think like we're worried about EBO3 if they're gonna fulfill those, right? But here's the thing, you have OP14 in between that, before that heroin set comes out, right? Do you see this going down by OP14 and them abandoning their position? Or do you think they try to make a play at OP14 and they fuck up?
I think they make a play at the next like 3 sets, and I'm worried about getting any of them. Truly.
Yeah, I think
That's
I
why
think we
keep
see this
playing
going.
Emu.
I think we see this going until global release, and then once global release happens, I think the market falls out.
Because it's gonna flood,
I
right?
hope it does.
Because we're gonna get flooded with product at that point with global release. I hope.
I
I
think
just
they're still
hope
gonna
they
flood.
flood it
I think it became big enough to where people like, I don't know. I mean, you notice that whenever like this kind of a big commotion happens, like for example, the only other thing I can think of like where prices were inflated this much was EBO2. Like that was such a fucking crazy inflation of price to just play that fucking deck.
You and Zach might be a little too early, like late for this. I think Dean remembers the biggest travesty we ever had was the OP05 OP06.
Oh no, I do no, but
That's
I
when
do
I got
remember that
in.
because I started playing
my
it.
God.
I started playing at 7, and everything cost like for RP Law. I wanted to build that deck, and I remember buying Gordons for $30 a piece. The fucking little. I remember buying like Queens for like $35 a piece. Like
Shit, fuck
that was
dude. The worst financial situation we ever had in this game. I mean, LBO1 takes the cake, but there was actually just no product, right? But the worst situation we had where there was like good product, but it just was to the moon. $80 normal secret categories.
Yep.
yeah. No, I remember
right
that.
when I got into the
I
game.
do
and was
remember
playing
that.
Yellow.
I saw somebody play
Dude.
4 of those. I'm like, how the fuck, dude? How are you doing that? Like, how are you spending this much on this game?
It's insane, dude. But you know, nothing like the raw card prices have gone down for sure because the supply is up.
Yeah.
But I think it's ridiculous that we have a set that just came out a month ago. Boxes are $400 for
Yeah,
OP13.
that's ridiculous.
What? Like
we
I
still
get
have
it.
a
There's
card
so many-
following 8-cost Katakuri's trend. We have Kuma at base rarity going for 45 right now.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
fallen a little
Katakuri's
bit,
trend.
but
That's
yeah.
that's less. That's not 80. Like it was
Yeah.
80. It was like fuck you. Like it's because that's
Yeah.
how are you gonna play that fucking deck? And that deck was strong in that format. That deck was a go-to deck. You want to jump in, like. You know, I think the reason I jumped into One Piece, I've said before, is because like you could play the game and not be prohibited by like, oh well, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh staple, so you got to pay $50-$60 to just play this game, right? I think that Kuma almost gets to that point, but I think that it's a much more affordable game. It's still an affordable game if you want to jump in.
Well, the thing too that you have to remember it wasn't just that the Kumas were $80. It was the fact that it was the double whammy of the Yamatos that a lot of yellow decks also had to run that were also like $70. It was the double whammy, right? So if you wanted to play like an L,
Well, those were the Altar ones. I mean, the normal
the
ones.
base.
The base.
It wasn't
9
70.
costs?
It was base
Never even-
Yamatos were like 20 to 30. Essentially,
No.
Anel. When I came in, Anel was about a $560 deck. So
Yeah.
I did price check it because I was trying. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. I remember talking to Dean about Yellow because I remember buying an 8-cost Katakuri off someone right before my first ever Treasure Cup
Yeah.
because I wanted to have a second one in my deck.
Is this the one? Yeah, okay, OP4.
Yeah, it's hard to be hopeful. I'll just leave it there. I don't want to.
Oh my
the
god,
doomer.
Dean! You
It's not hard
fucking
to-
25-year-old
hopefully
angst.
I
angst.
just I'm in this state and speaking to the
Cut
greater.
my life into
Yeah.
pieces.
That's how I
This
feel.
is my last
I
resort.
did feel so emo about this because the hobbies that I've had since I was a kid, I've always been a sneakerhead. I've always been into cards, always been into playing and collecting. And the last 5 years, since the pandemic and since the stock market tanked back in early 2020, right? The entire theme of this, you know what's a better point to scale it from? Ever since stimulus checks, for some reason, even though that was $1,200, who cares? Ever since then, it's been what market of fun stuff can we exploit and just make it so we make money off of it? The people who have been in it just lose out, right? And this feels like another
it's always a waiting game for those markets though, Dean, because they always crash. Like the sneaker market for the most part is kind of stabilized.
5 years. It just crashed this year. It took 5 years, and I'll be damned if I have to wait 5 years to alt out another deck.
I don't think you're gonna have to wait 5 years, but things crash. But like markets crashed in sequence, right? Sneaker market took the longest, right? But the game market crashed much quicker, right? You know,
Yeah.
like markets. It's compression, right? It's basically the same crypto bros who are trying to buy shit up and lose it. There's only so many bad investments you can make to be like, I have to get a fucking job, dude. So
I don't think they're bad investments. That's the issue. Is like people are enabling it because, like, I was talking to Chris about this in the car yesterday. I was like, dude, yes, have some of these prices jumped like 200, 300, 400%? Yes. And if they crash, what are they going to drop? Like 30%? They'll never.
30% is a lot.
But they'll never retrace to close of what they were, and I think that's.
I disagree with that.
I think this goes.
I think they'll go back. Yeah.
I think One Piece prices have been so undervalued as a card game for what its popularity is, and so for what amount of product is available. I think One Piece as the card game as a whole has been undervalued. So now I think it's tracing back to where the value is equal or higher, and then it drops down to. I think some stuff drops back to where it was, and I think other stuff. Again, like I was saying, I think it's a mix, right? I think the stuff that shouldn't have been pumped goes back to where it was. I think the stuff that should have been higher goes back to where it was, and then there's a middle ground that everything else falls into, right?
Yeah, and I think that's where it should that's what it should be. So if you have things that like, hey, this was really hard to get, and I pulled it, but nobody fucking wanted it, right? That goes up, right? But like stuff like for that, the prohibitiveness of being able to play the game and enjoy the game, right? That goes away. Because that's what always happens. Like, for example, like Switch 2s are the best example. That's another thing that was immediately arbitraged this year. If you looked at the market, Switch 2s were fucking everywhere. I got my fucking brother's like kids. I got them a Switch 2 for $100 less than what it's worth with Mario Kart and like 3 other games, right? Yeah, well, okay, and then I got my girlfriend one too. And that's a brand new console in a year where there's tariffs and shortages. So like,
it's not applicable though, because that's like the base rarity. Like,
I think Dean, I think you're both arguing different points and you're both agreeing with each other. What Zed's saying is like, again, it's the Pokemon problem, right? Where there's product and there's tons of product being open because everyone's looking for chases. What it does is it makes like the base rarity stuff, and like if you want to play Pokemon, dude, build a Pokemon deck for $20, have a blast, you'll have fun. Like, and I think that's where One Piece is heading. Where like, bro, if you want to play Ace, go play Ace. He's base cost super cheap. Go buy. If you want to alt out Ace,
or
good luck,
like,
right?
Well, people were worried. That's what people were worried about. That's what the big commotion was on the Reddit. Was that?
Nothing base is going up. Yeah. Everything base is dropping.
Well, no, the Roger was the one that was like, the Ace deck did have some cards that were like Roger specifically. Yeah, that was going up.
You could have mitigated that by just buying ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like, of course.
Like,
you see something too low. You know what? You should have bought Bitcoin at $1.
Well, no, that's the thing of like, we know it changes with global release, right? But like we have an advantage with the West. We're like, okay, we know if you know you want to play Ace, we know Ace is gonna be good. We know you want to play if you know you want to play Ace, go buy Rogers for $5. Because you know when it comes out, then they're gonna be $30. Right? Just
then, like, you don't have to wait for that. Roger's a good card. Just like, I think is it Vampire Gaming who's big on that? Like, one of the YouTubers does like content on just like, hey, this is a good card. It's only $3. Buy a playset for $12, right? I think you have to like just know the longer you're in the game, like what is a good card. It's not Vampire.
It's I'm not gonna mention the YouTuber's name.
No, but Vampire also does it. Vampire also does it. So
yeah.
I don't know who does it, but it's more like, Marcos are like a outstander because they were always at least $15. But even then, $60 for like Rogers when they were 15 is better than like $100 for Rogers when they're 25 and so on, right? So
I just don't think the doom and gloom of it is like if you want alt arts, like listen, if you want to alt art your decks, right? That's always seemed like a luxury to me. Like I got into the game knowing like I'm not gonna fucking alt art like Gecko Morias and shit like, and I always played base rarity, and then I played Gecko.
Says the guy
like,
with
when I was
maxed out GP, but continue.
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. I traded for most of that. And I didn't spend, and I put a budget on what I would spend and what I wouldn't spend. And so when I pulled stuff, I lucked into that like largely. And even the other decks that I have alted out, like I'm gonna take like I'm gonna wait until this drops a little bit. I'm not gonna spend this much, right? Like I understand the cost, you know, benefit analysis of putting money into an alted out deck, right? That being said, like if the base rarity of stuff goes like that's my threshold. If the base rarity of being able to play a deck you want gets so high where it's prohibitive for you to play, that's fucked up to me. Like that should never happen. That's the death knell of a game. That makes it so that it's pay to win to some extent, and there's no reason you should be playing it, right? But if like that's why I'm not really playing Riftbound, and I love that game from what we played, but it's so cost prohibitive. Why would you want to play it and spend that much money, right? I know that we have to go, but like for me, and the reason I'm not depressed is like, look, like if like even with the elders, right? Like if stuff is like around there $30 to $50 for alts, right? And then, you know, like some stuff may be high, some stuff may be low, right? But then eventually it stabilizes to something, right? Like I don't think the pump and dumpers, like one, they don't know the game well enough to be able to corner the market like that, because if they would have to really get into the game to be able to corner the market like that, right? And then on top of that, you know, again, we've also seen Bandai mitigate for this shit.
But Emu is like not like, if somebody wants to pump and dump that, okay, because it is the best deck in the meta, or the second best deck in the meta, right? That would make more sense to me than like my purple yellow croc. That's like a deck that I've loved since it came out in OP04. I want to play SP Miss All Sundays. That card was $50. Why is it $200? And if it retraces, it's going to be $150. It's not going to be 60 or 70.
No, I think that'll drop. I definitely think that'll drop.
I don't think it will.
Like, it's a waifu card.
Because they're predatory.
You don't think it will?
No, because again, I think
about the SP. Are you talking about the SP? You're talking about just the alt art.
The SP.
Oh no, okay, but the SP I understand, because the SP is super rare.
I think this is where you're getting caught up of. I get where you're coming from, but I think again there's so many. Who's yours?
Is it Dean or me?
Dean. I think I get where Dean's coming from. Where, yeah, there's certain cards like I want to play my like niche whatever, right? But I think the problem that you're running into is like those cards were undervalued from a collector standpoint anyway, right? And so like,
I agree.
That's how I felt about Sanji, the Sanji SP, when I was on my purple black coat. I wanted 4 of those motherfuckers, and they were $100 each. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lose every game I have for $400, okay? If I want to lose like this much to pay $400 for this fucking card.
Again, the All Miss Sundays, for example, I had 6 of them. I just sold 2 because I was like, I don't need 6 anymore.
The SP?
Yeah.
You need 4.
Yeah, I need 4. I was like, I don't need 6 anymore.
It's just, dude, like I've been
somebody
like this
getting
with
into the game.
sneakers. I've been like this with cards. You wear your sneakers, you play your cards, you don't let them rot in binders or PSA cases.
Right.
And it's just lost. I genuinely don't think, and hearing Chris is not a dig at you, but you've been playing card games your whole life. To hear you talk like this also makes me feel like there are no OGs left, dude.
No, so
what happened?
Get out of here.
Dean. But see, this is where you're.
What?
This is like, Dean. How many
I'd say that's.
Like, look, I have
Dean,
I have a
for
binder.
you to say there's no OGs left, but
like,
not know who Julia Roberts is, and every time I make a Dreamcast reference, for you to go, oh, what the fuck was that? I don't know a history before 2010.
You know what I mean, dude? What I mean, I'm like in the Valley, for example, like, you know, Kitty World, Toy Mandala, like people who were just here to grind, dude.
Oh,
like,
100%.
But there are people who are still there. That doesn't prohibit those people from existing.
Again, Dean,
right?
It does. If I can't play my shitty deck,
you can though. This is
it's not a playable card.
No, but see, this is where you're getting hung up on. It's not like collecting the high
doesn't matter
value
if it's a
stuff.
playable card.
Yeah, collecting the high value stuff is not a mitigator of you being able to play your shitty deck at the low rarity, right? Like that's what Zed's getting.
I don't want to play it at the low rarity. It's like buggy.
That's a you problem.
No, but that's
problem.
I think that's a lot
problem.
of people. I think it's the thing is, if people are coming in, like let's say there are 10 or like 100 other Dean Kazanovs in America that want to play shitty purple yellow croc but alted out, right?
First of all, that's its own problem that there are 100 other
that
Dean
would be its own
Kazanovs.
problem. And that's why I say like Emu, its alt arts being expensive, I wouldn't have an issue with that because it's the best deck, and I've never had an issue with like the best deck's alt arts being super pumped, right? That's totally fine, but it's not like that. The motivation behind it now is, oh, this Miss All Sunday SP is $50. It's a 1 in 6 SP, and SPs are 1 per case. Oh, there's not that many out there. Let me just buy it so it can go up. Ooh, let me not sell. Let me keep.
I don't think it's just that.
It's not just that. See,
There's
this is where
two
you're. Yeah, this is where you're missing.
Yeah. One Piece has gotten so much bigger in a market now. I mean, shit,
Yeah.
One Piece is literally the symbol for evolution. So
Yeah.
across the world, One Piece is
yeah.
a worldwide property now. It's not to Pokemon, but it is a worldwide. So the market's getting bigger. There is now, maybe not 50 Dean Kazanovs, maybe not 100 Dean Kazanovs, but there's probably like 30 that are trying to alt out that purple yellow croc deck.
I'd be so
And- oh my
fine.
God.
But like,
ADHD.
but see, this is I think
I'd be
Dean, like so
savage.
using the Miss All Sunday as an example, right?
Oh yeah.
Like using like in the same way that there might not be 100. There's a couple hundred people maybe that want to play a Charizard deck in the TCG. There are hundreds of thousands of people that would love to have a Charizard on their shelf or in the binder.
Keep it to Luffy. So keep it to Luffy.
But
why
but
is
because
but
Boa-
it's Robin.
yeah, but it's Robin. Like
Robin.
this is where
But
like
it's
dude,
Robin.
I have the
Robin's
Robin video, right?
not like a
it's
popular
not
character.
like-
Do you know how many people
Oh my God.
like
it's big titties? Oh my God, I need it
it's
on my
not,
shiny
it's not
card.
because
It's not even the big
it's not even
titties.
big It's not
Dude,
even that.
Robin is a wonderful. My wife and I collect Robin,
Yeah.
and that is not.
Chris,
my wife
Chris
is not looking
Chris
at the
is
big titties.
alternate. Chris is like an alternate like Loki variant of Robin. Okay, like there's
Dude.
there's so much. I don't think I get what you're trying to say. Is like you want to be able to have like the accoutrements of being able to play your deck, even if it's not an enormously big deck, right? But first off, that's not like an OG problem, right?
Yeah,
It's a
this is
problem
it
with the
is.
game that you love becoming more popular. No, it's not.
No.
Because
I love that it's becoming more popular. It's becoming more popular for the wrong reasons because people are just trying to plus off each other.
I
No,
don't
Dean,
think-
this is
I
the
don't-
problem. No, this is the problem you're running into.
It's not just
Yeah, because again, like I collect Robin cards because I love Robin the character and I love the IP. So like again, for me,
So you're the anomaly. But like, for example, in the Pokemon card game, like for the last, I'd say 7 or 8 years, trainer cards, like growing up, I'm sure you can attest to this because you played Pokemon when it was, before all this came, even like pre-2020. Full art trainer cards were dog. Everybody hated them. If you like they were actually just the only ones that would sell were like N and like Gold Ultra Ball. I remember this because you'd alt out everything except those, right?
Yeah.
Dude, the amount of people that just have trainer collections because they see like Gooner cards and they're like, oh my God, I need all of these. I need Misty. I need Skyla. Not to mention these are underage women, right?
but like, so I will say
It feels like it's transitive to One Piece now. It's like, oh my God, Nico Robin. Oh my God, Boa. It's like, dude.
I will say the difference here, I will say in the modern day TCG, I think the difference is like a lot of these companies have put a lot more effort into the full art trainers and things like that. Like, dude, the full art Lilith Determination is so much better than anything we had growing up as a full art trainer.
Yeah.
That card is
they're
beautiful.
not just clip art anymore.
Yeah, that card is beautiful. And like,
I mean, the
Yu-Gi-Oh!
card
even
art that
start
we
trying to do
have in
full arts
general.
what's up?
Didn't Yu-Gi-Oh start trying to do full arts now?
That's
Yeah,
the new
they are.
Because of how
But
popular and everything?
look, the arts that we have, like even we were just talking about Giant, right? Giant being $600, right? Like the argument I'd make for that is because Giant is a beautiful. Like there are cards that like look like Dean has seen my girlfriend's binder. Like all the alts that we pull, we keep those. That binder is worth like tens of thousands of dollars at this point.
Now,
right?
because everything,
But like a lot of it is just like there's sentimental value to her. There
And
was
I love that. I love that so much.
But I think that's a fairly common thing that I think you're not seeing because we're in the sweat world. That is our own little bubble, right? Like we live in a world that lives in a competitive world that lives and dies by.
Like we go to cart
lowest
shows,
common
right?
denominator.
Like we go to cart shows. The amount of people, and again, I watch a bunch of like vendor YouTubers and things like that, where like usually I have it on in the background where I have a vendor live streaming in the background, and like it provides me a card environment where I'm like, oh, I'm at a card show, but like I'm just watching this vendor's live stream. But for every like Poke Bro that comes up trying to invest or whatever, there's maybe 5 or 6 kids that come up and are like, oh, I want this single, or I want, like, this is my favorite Pokemon.
And they can't afford it now.
Whatever.
And that's my gripe, is that people like Zed's girlfriend, or people that are just entering the space, or people that are just collecting because they love the way the cards look. Yes, the pull rates are hard for some of these cards. They're going to be more expensive. They're going to be more sought after because they're prettier. But I think the amount of people that are entering this hobby purely to say,
I'm agreeing with you.
Let me just buy all of these out, and the market will never see them again. They're not going to be in people's binders or people's decks. They're going to be sent off to PSA where another corporation can plus off them and then send them back.
I agree with that. I agree with you on.
We're not disagreeing with you at all there.
We're not disagreeing with you on that, but I don't think that is. I don't think that. First off, I do not think that those kind of people who do that, who pull cards specifically to pump, right? The speed at which they grab things and they steal and they destroy markets is only equated by the speed at which they run away to try to mitigate their losses, right? And you've seen it with every market they've pulled up in, right? Including the sneaker market, right? Of course, there are sneakers that for a large amount of time were impossible to get. When that market crashed, there's a lot of sneakers that I picked up because I was like, oh, that's fucking affordable now, right?
Yeah.
And of course, it sucks because people who genuinely have a love for it are prohibited from being able to participate, right? That is something that eventually we have to mitigate to make sure that doesn't happen again. But in terms of like long-term doom and gloom, this is a short-term run that they've miscalculated.
Yeah.
And I think we'll correct. I don't think you're gonna. And like if somebody wants that Nico Robin, like I'll give you an example. Another card that was inflated before the bros were there was Sugar, like the Sugar alt art and everything like that, right? But that was way before. And my girlfriend, that was her chase card. She really wanted that Sugar alt art, right? Okay, all right. But like, here's the thing, like it was like $60 at a fucking Frankensons, right? And she was like, I can spend this, and she bought it, and like. It's not like destroying her bank account. It was at one point like way larger than that, but like she was able to, like, these prices will fluctuate. They will go down because the people who are pumping things just want money. They don't want to fucking hold, like the people who say hold, like the majority of them are massive pussies. They won't hold, they'll sell, right? Because the stock market works. If everybody was a disciplined like investor, you wouldn't see stock numbers go up and down in every 4 days, like, oh, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is gone, we're fucked, hey, that's fun. You know, you wouldn't see that happen all the time.
I think too, and this is maybe a fucked up thing to say, but like I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way when I say this. The chase is part of the fun of it and the story of the card.
Really?
Like for me, when I go, like if I can just go and pick up, like if
there's a good faith argument he's making. He's not making it like
I'm not saying,
oh, you have to feel pain.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
he's not making
when I walk up to a shop and it's like a card I really want and it's $10 and I pick it up and I go, oh, that's cool, and it goes in the binder, right? But if there's a card that's like a couple $100s and I go, man, I want that card one day, and then it goes down, I see it go down, whatever, it goes to $100, and then I finally able to pick it up for like $60-$70. And now I have a story about this card that I wanted for so long that, okay, now I look at it and I go, man, remember when this was $200? I finally have it, right? And then now I can watch the market fluctuate, whatever, but I still have this card and I'm never going to sell it. But like, I'm watching the market fluctuate and whatever, like the Nami manga, right? I'm never going to sell that card. But like being able to be like, oh, I got it for this much and now it's triple in value, I'm never gonna sell it. But I mean, I can now track these prices and it makes me feel good of like, oh yeah, I have it, it's my card.
Yeah, I had no doubt. And remember, like, I wouldn't have bought that card for you at Bandai Card Fest if I knew you were just trying to plus on me. People have come to me and be like, yo, can you get me the dude? Just for this upcoming Vegas Bandai Card Fest, I've had 3 or 4 people ask me to get them the Nami leader, the whole Cake Island one.
You guys better help me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually like, just suck me. I know what you're trying to do, right? Whereas I have a friend who, well, you're one of them, but I have another friend who, like, I know only plays Nami, and asked me to get that card for him. 100% I'll try to get it for him because I know he's never gonna sell that card. He's gonna use it. He's gonna get love out of it, right? My issue is not like, it's not doom and gloom that this will never like that this is forever going to be like the pump market of Doom and we're never going to be able to get cards we want again. Obviously that's not the case, right? But like, time is a very valuable thing to me. It took 5 years for the sneaker market to come down, and it varies between different hobbies. Digimon had the same issue. I don't know if y'all remember when Digimon card game came out, pumped to the moon.
Yeah.
And 2 years later, in the toilet, right? Even now it's in the toilet. As far as like, can you get the cards you want for a reasonable price? Yes, even SPs and everything, right? Gundam, it took less than a year.
Yeah.
Gundam boxes were like $300 at one point for set one.
Back down to half an hour for people to be like, we have shit to do.
Yeah, exactly, right? I have no doubt that like Riftbound at some point will equalize and it will come back down. Gundam boxes for set 2 are $90. That's below retail.
That's
right? So like, I have no doubt that it will equalize eventually. My issue is I know One Piece as an IP is so strong. I enjoy One Piece. I've been watching it for so long, right? Because of my faith in the IP, I know that this is going to be another like 5-year ordeal for sneakers, and it sucks to be able to say that it's going to take 5 years for me to be able to enjoy this card game as I was for the last 3 years.
I don't think it's going to take 5. I think that's the disagreement. I don't think it's going to take 5 because the market for the people who buy sneakers are different than the people who buy One Piece cards. The property it's objectively true. The people,
the amount of people,
watch basketball, the people who watch basketball and sports are very different than the people who fucking, buy like the card game that is representative of revolutions and freedom for everyone.
But it's my opinion that the people who watch basketball and play sports and skate and all these things for SB Dunks, right, we're never the people pumping the sneaker market. And it's crazy because, I used to consume sneakers so much, especially I'm a size 14, right? I used to like you learn who has the rarest shit available for that size, and I follow them and have them added as friends because I'd be such repeat customers. It is crazy how many of those people jumped to Pokemon and have been doing Pokemon for the last 6 months.
Right.
And now I'm seeing graded mangas or like, guys, look what I just got back from PSA and they're opening. I'm just like, dude, can you be any less obvious how much of a show
I just
you are?
don't think it's going to be 5 years. I think like, especially with the way things are compressing, I just don't think it's going to be 5 years because I don't think these people have the patience that you need in order to like, cause it's this, I'm just gonna say it's the crypto bro crowd, dude. It's the same fucking crowd.
So I see Dean's point. I think to me, why this will go faster is the core of the, like, again, right now it's Poke Bros selling to Poke Bros, investors selling to investors, right? I think what you're gonna see is the core strength or the core value of what the One Piece player base wants and values. And I think as soon as people, as long as base rarity doesn't go up and people can go, oh, that's too expensive, let me just play my base rarity and be okay.
Yeah.
As long as that's the case, I think the market starts to drop down because then now that market falls out, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's okay.
And like, and you've seen so many people, and like that's indicative by
because like
the
again,
amount,
think of it like
I'm not happy with the panic, but there's the fact that there is panic should tell you. It's the same with the AI bubble. If everybody was just kind of blasé about AI, I'd be like, okay, we're fucking in trouble. But everybody's so fucking scared and so like protective of like, is this real, is this fake, that that there is a natural inoculant to people being like, I'm just gonna disengage.
Yeah, because again, like the thing is with sneakers, right? there's no
We gotta call
base.
this
There's
soon,
no.
guys.
There's no base. Oh, yeah,
We gotta call it.
There's no. We'll leave it on this. There's no
circling.
base rarity sneaker. It's like It's not like Dean's gonna. Oh, he can't afford the Nike Dunk, so he's gonna go buy the Nike layup instead, right? Like he can't just go and do that, right? So the idea of like, okay, there's another option here that's cheaper, that's more affordable, that people will just move to next, and that's fine for the majority of our audience.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's gonna be like Labubu's or whatever.
I feel like I need a cigarette after that, dude. It's fucking Pokey Bros.
So good. That was a great discussion, though. I think it's a lot of things that need to be said. I know Zach's got to go. Listen, we really want to thank everybody for watching with us. It's those extra long podcasts. We'll cut this up for you, but we really appreciate y'all. We're really looking forward to next year. More Go for Lethal, more One Piece TCG. Hopefully lower prices. Yeah. Well, let's make the next year of this game the game that we want to see. And I just want to thank everybody on this. We've gotten to hang out a lot more, and we were always friends before, but like, man, like you guys are like my family. So I'm very appreciative having you guys on, even though we are late all the time to this thing. But it's yeah, I couldn't ask for.
It's fun time.
Couldn't ask for Hopefully, my goal, my New Year's resolution is to do this a lot more with y'all, and then also get episodes out on time finally. So let's make that a thing. But anyway, we'll catch you guys in the new year. My name is Etsabani.
I'm Dean Kazanov.
I'm Zach Chamberlain.
I'm Chris Okamura.
And we'll catch y'all soon.